Hi everyone, and welcome back to York for the start of the new semester. So we've changed so many things: semesterization, completely kind of new curriculum, and on top of that, we've changed the VLE as well. So you'll have noticed that we now have the VLE Ultra, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to kind of walk you through the new VLE Ultra and specifically to show you what biology modules look like on the new VLE. It's not that different. Most of the principles are the same, but there are a few nice new features and maybe a few niggles, and I'll show you what those are. So when you log into the VLE, you'll have a home page that looks maybe a bit like this. This is obviously a staff version, but here in this block are some Department of Biology specific sites. So there's the Skills Hub, which I hope you've engaged with before. You'll notice now if you click on that actually takes you out to a website. So that's no longer hosted on the VLE, and we've migrated that onto a website. But all the awesome advice and guidance on transferable skills is still there. Also, as before, there are links out to the library subject guides. And I should also mention that this menu item down here, Assist, has all of the university study skills resources. So it's a fantastic resource. So don't let that odd title put you off there. That Assist button is really good. And then next on the list is the Biology Student Services, or SAS, VLE site. So let's just have a look at that. Okay, so here's the SAS VLE site. There's a lovely picture of Sangeeta in the lab doing a neuroscience practical. And what you'll see with these Ultra sites is that the overall screen looks a bit different. So rather than having that left-hand menu that had all the links on it, all of the content is now on the main screen. And actually, this left-hand menu is not that useful for students. So you won't really need to access any of the features on the left side here. But you can see at the top, there is announcements and the sort of discussion board kind of link. But as I say, most of the main content is on this page. And you just scroll through and you'll have all these different documents. So you can see that this sort of icon here is a document, will take you through to a document like this, and it opens up in a separate window. There's lots of information about SAS and the department. And then you'll see that there are also folders that you can access as well. And in terms of, I think what's nice on this VLE document is it does actually have a link to the guide that the university have put out. So this is a more generic sort of student guide for the VLE. So you might want to have a look at that. But I hope I'll be covering most of the things that you need to use the VLE for. Okay, so there we go. That's the SAS VLE site. And then if we have a look down this left-hand menu, which I think you might be familiar with because this is pretty similar to the VLE that migrated onto the cloud that we used last academic year. So you have your profile page, and the main reason I wanted to click on this was not to show you that lovely picture of me, but actually in the profile settings, you can alter your notifications. So you'll be aware, obviously, from the past, you get a lot of emails from the VLE, and with Ultra, I think it updates you with every little thing that's happening on there. So you can actually go into there and maybe reduce the amount of email that you're getting, those sort of unnecessary notifications. Then there's the activity stream. So again, that will tell you everything that's happening on the modules. It shows you when new content's been added, but it'll also show you when there are announcements. But obviously you might also get email updates on that as well. And then most importantly, if we look in the courses section, this will show you the modules that are available, and a nice feature here. So all of the modules now have these coloured bits next to them. That means that they're a new module site that's in Ultra. If you've got your old modules from 22, 23 or 21, 22, you'll see that those are grey, and they'll just look like your old modules. So they'll be in the old format, and then the Ultra sites from now onwards will be in the new format. A nice feature is that you can click on the favorite star over here, and this will put your favorite modules at the top. Seeing as you only have 3 modules per semester, I don't think it'll be probably too difficult to find your module sites, but I would suggest that you make all the ones that you're currently studying your favorites, so they're near the top. So what we're going to do now is just have a look at an example module. So I'm going to just choose this this second year module here, 53I, Ecological Solutions for Global Challenges. Okay, so this is the 53I module site. You'll see that the modules now have these really nice sort of whizzy banners up here, the pretty picture. And then, as I said, just like that community site that I showed you, the SAS VLE site, the left-hand menu doesn't really contain anything that useful, and all of the important content is on the main page here. And you essentially just scroll down through. The items at the top tend to be items that will introduce the module. It's fairly self-explanatory. So here's a nice introduction to the module, sort of welcome page. There's a module planner, which I think is really useful. We've tried to standardize these across all of the modules, so they're all in the same format. And the planner should kind of, I mean, like planners we've had on previous VLE sites, the idea is for that to kind of integrate with your timetable. So the planner gives you an idea or an overview of the module, and will also maybe include things that are happening each week that aren't necessarily on the timetable, so the sort of directed study that you might be doing. So all of the planners have this, as I say, similar layout with the activities that are happening each week and the staff that are taking those sessions. Okay, and then in the module information, so these things are documents, and this thing is like a folder, but it's called a learning module. And when you click on that to open it up, you can see all the documents that are contained inside. So let's have a look at the overview, which will also contain the learning outcomes. So there you go, there's lots of information about the module. And what's nice about the learning module is that you can then, you don't have to pull out to go to the next document. You can just follow the arrow here to head into the next document that's in the folder. So there we go. You can, and then you can flick back and forth. So let's move on to the accessibility information. So you can see that you can just flick between the different pages within the learning module. So let's close that one down. There's an assessment overview. So that has all of the information that you'll need. So a summary of the assessment with some explanations. And then what else have we got? The assessment criteria, past paper, and some other stuff. And then finally, what we have here is the reading list app, which will have all the reading materials for the module. There's the replay link, which will take you through to the recordings of your live sessions. And then, just like the old VLE, we have week-by-week content that's presented in these learning modules. So if we just go into the week 1 folder here, you can see you've got the introduction and learning outcomes and the learning materials. So it's structured, well, the learning materials are structured very, very similarly to how we had them before. So let's just go into this one. And you can see there's an overview of what's happening this week. There's a little sort of progress bar as you go through the semester. And then we can go on to the next item there, which is the learning materials. And I can show you a few more features now that we can see some documents, some learning materials in these folders. So firstly, there's the ally, which is this A icon. So we've always had this in the VLE. So this is a way of obtaining these documents in different formats, which is fantastic for accessibility. And then also a new feature of VLE Ultra is that rather than having to download the file to view it, the Ultra has the ability to preview documents actually on the page. I make it sound like it's some amazing revelation progress, but I guess they've caught up with the real world. So here we go. Here's a nice preview of that PowerPoint. So you don't need to download it just to have a look through the content. And as I said, when you do download it, you can download it in all those different formats. So there's the learning materials and some reading material as well. Okay, I think that is more or less it. The one thing I wanted to mention is that you'll be familiar with using the VLE discussion boards to ask staff questions about your module. What we've discovered is that the new VLE doesn't have the feature to post anonymous questions. So what we're going to do is use a Google form and a Google Doc to capture discussions on modules. And so those will be added to the sites for you to be able to ask questions. So that's the only sort of downside, I think, with the new VLE, is that you don't have this anonymous option on the discussion board. But I think the feel of it is a bit slicker than the old VLE, and it's nice to be able to go through those documents in the folders, so to move through your learning materials. If you've got any other questions about the VLE in general, feel free to ask myself or the office, and obviously if there are any issues with your VLE module sites, then please ask the staff on your module. Okay, so I hope all goes well this semester, and take care.